Mr. Backhurst, just in relation to you had said in your opening statement about RTE not be brokering or facilitating separate commercial deals into the future, and that's welcome. And you also said about the barter accounts, the fees were too high, 35%. I think when we questioned it at committee, I don't know which hearing it was, but they were it was the 35%, but the normal one would have been about 15%. But speaking to others since, it's a lot less than 15%, so we could be paying maybe 30%, 25% over and above. But I'm just curious as to how you'll be able to, if you did say that you were going to keep the barter account, so say Oireachtas, for example, which charges the 35% fee. How do you bring the fee down if you're keeping that particular account? Is that possible to do?
I might bring Conor here in a moment because he's the expert on this. I mean, I think the two things are we need the barter account to trade airtime, and that's a commercial negotiation. I think what we pay is probably broadly in line with industry, and Conor might be able to say a bit more. I think what I'm saying is the other payments that came out of the barter account attracted similar charges. So that's a reason not to pay them out of the barter account. But I don't know if Conor wants to talk about what we pay.
The fees. Yeah, the fees. I mean, they're over and above what is standard. Whoever negotiated that or agreed to that, but it's costing. Yeah,
well, we need to look at that. We need to have a barter account for airtime, but whether it's competitive, Conor, you probably got with your experience.
Look, I think we need to look at the contracts and when they run, and then we can discuss negotiations. My understanding is that that's a common cost, because you have to amalgamate the money that comes in straight to the line, and then the cash out, which is the 35% fee. You aggregate them together and it comes out at about 82.5, I think 83%. Now, is there something we can do better on that? That's down to us to renegotiate.
I think it was.
But Deputy, you're right. I mean, this is why it doesn't make sense to me to make other payments apart from airtime out of the barter account, because you're paying whatever it is, 15 to 35%.
It's over a third. I think the commercial director had said when I asked her about the 35%, she said the standard would be about 15%.
Yes, through an agency, a standard agency booking, much as I outlined with regards to Deputy Burke. So you have agencies representing multiple clients. They will make bookings. They will devise a media plan. It will go across the media, and the agency will receive a commission, and the general commission is 15%.
Yeah, but it just seems foolish to be forking out that amount of money because it's RTE that's losing the money, and if it's something that can be addressed, it has to be. I'm still curious. We're all exhausted, I think, with all this. I'm still curious about those emails that Noel Kelly had sent to us, right? And both the PAC and the Media Committee had requested the whole shoot and gallery in relation to around the agreement, the payments, the invoices, the deal, the whole lot. And Noel Kelly came in and furnished us with those invoices, right? And they showed the correspondence between Breda O'Keefe, the email that said, don't attempt to put a name on this, that they went in under consultancy fees. But when we requested all that information pertaining to all of this from RTE, why do we not get it?
Well, do you want to expand that?
I think, as I've stated before, we have a legal file that has these documents on it. I've sent it externally. I've asked for it to be reviewed. What we can supply, we will. In relation to...
Sorry, just in relation to, again, it's my own curiosity. What would preclude you from furnishing us with the email that said, don't put a name on the invoice?
My understanding is that was given to Grant Thornton, and Grant Thornton dealt with it in its report.
No, but what would have stopped ye furnishing us with that when we requested all the information?
But I think it's dealt with. It's set out quite clearly in the Grant Thornton report, the issue with the instruction. I think if you look at it, they speak to all the relevant people involved. They've got all the documentation.
We'd sought copies of all correspondence. That's my point, and we weren't furnished with that.
I wasn't aware that you had sought copies of that particular document.
Just finally, just even for the public, when you just sit back and look at this, right, you look at how the executive board went off and entered into a separate commercial deal to underwrite payments for their top presenter, top paid presenter as well. And it's hard to credit to think, and particularly the Renault deal was for the 1 year, then RTE paid Renault that 75,000. Don't be worried, now we'll cover that, like it'll all look good on paper. And then the other 275 payments for the other 2 years. So the executive board went to all that bother, right, for their top up payments for their highest paid presenter. And we're going back and forth for 3 weeks. But will someone at some stage, and maybe we'll have to wait for the forensic accountant or maybe the reviews, and somebody eventually will just say, hands up. Our executive board, our members of our executive board took it upon themselves to arrange a deal, to underwrite that deal so that our top paid presenter was going to be subsidised for the pay cut with a top up. And we were going to run that through the barter account. The public purse were going to pay. I mean, people would have far more respect at this stage if RTE were to put their hands up, because it makes no logical sense. We can go over the Renault deal, we can go over the whole lot. It makes no sense other than executive board members of RTE took it upon themselves, had a deal with the top presenter's agent. Listen, we'll sort out the cut in the salary, we'll make it up to you. We'll do this, we'll orchestrate that, we'll pay it out of the public course, we'll stash it through the barter account. If someone said that, that's, at least you'd have respect for that.
Deputy O'Cossie, take that as a statement.